The automotive industry has gone through rapid change, with seeing the rise of EVs as the customer's favourite. And with that, one company that reaped more of the benefit than any other is without doubt Elon Musk's Tesla. Yes, having a Tesla means you are contributing more to the environment, but there is one thing that is keeping it from the hands of the average person, and that is the cost. While the Model 3 boasts the lowest price tag of $44,000, not all can afford that though, right? Well, Elon Musk is on it to change the whole thing as he partners up with Uber to give everyone a Tesla experience. Let's talk about that a little more today. By now, the whole world knows that EVs are the future of the automobile industry, but recently, alongside car ownership, ride-sharing is also becoming quite versatile. And when it comes to ride-sharing apps, the name Uber just pops out effortlessly as it still dominates the market, taking in 69% of US ride-share spending. But even Uber as a big company has to think about the environmental contribution. And how else to fulfill this task other than going for EVs? Well, that's exactly what Uber did. The company struck a deal with Elon Musk's Tesla that will let London drivers access the electric vehicles. To be honest, Tesla and Uber aren't in direct partnership. It's more like they're being combined by another company, and that company is named Hertz. It's more like 3 companies are partnering up together. While most drivers who use Ubers own their cars, many don't, and that's why Hertz has worked with Uber to offer vehicle rental options since 2016. Hertz is back on the scene, following bankruptcy and months of reorganization. With new owners, the rental car company hopes to diversify its business more than ever, and it's buddying up with ride-sharing firm Uber. And to make them diversified, Hertz Global has placed an order for a whopping 100,000 Teslas, in a huge first step toward electrifying its rental car fleet, and in the process mainstreaming EVs. And if you want to know how much it will be adding into Tesla's bank account, well, it's huge obviously, around $4.2 billion of revenue for Tesla if you want to be specific. The electrification plan, which eventually will encompass almost all of Hertz's 500,000 cars and trucks worldwide, is the company's first big initiative since emerging from bankruptcy in June, and it signals that Hertz's new owners are intent on shaking up an industry dominated by a handful of large players, who are typically slow to change. Uber providing avenues for drivers who don't own a qualifying vehicle for the ride-sharing service isn't new. However, it touted this Hertz partnership with thousands of Teslas as a major step forward and a way to reduce carbon emissions in cities in which Uber operates. The company also said it's a good deal for its drivers too. Not only that, going electric will also help Uber to come up from a really bad research result that was recently published. The research claimed that ride-hail drivers produce more pollution per passenger mile traveled because they spend more than a third of their time driving around empty. Researchers generally assume that electrifying one ride-hail vehicle reduces the same amount of CO2 as converting 3 regular gas-powered vehicles to EVs. Uber says its partnership with Tesla will be a good deal for both drivers and the environment. It's expected to lower gasoline costs for drivers and also offers a leasing option to those who don't have their own car. According to Uber, the process started from the beginning of November, and drivers can rent Teslas through Hertz's rental program in Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, and Washington, D.C., with a nationwide expansion in the following weeks. This will expose more consumers to the EV experience than ever, as riders who use Uber start seeing Teslas more frequently throughout the holidays. This new program with Hertz aims to create positive environmental benefits by reaching rental drivers who are often looking to offer rides for more hours and more miles than the average driver. Research shows that when rideshare drivers go electric, they realize 3 to 4 times greater emission savings than average car owners. Initially, top-rated Uber drivers will be able to access Tesla vehicles for $334 weekly, but Hertz is looking to lower that cost for drivers over time. Availability of charging stations will be key for driver uptake of the option, and could dictate in what markets the program can be viable. Most automakers do not boast about sales to rental car companies, often made at discounts to unload slow-selling models. But for Tesla and its investors, Hertz's decision to order 100,000 Tesla vehicles by the end of 2022 showed electric vehicles are no longer a niche product, but will dominate the mass car market in the near future. It seems Hertz is quite confident about the Tesla deal. "We absolutely believe this is going to be a competitive advantage for us," Hertz CEO Mark Field said of the Tesla order, due to be delivered by the end of 2022. With the current order, Hertz said EVs will make up more than 20% of its global fleet. Okay, we made you click this video by telling you that there's an exclusive deal between Uber and Elon Musk's Tesla. But we weren't clickbaiting you. More recently, Uber partnered with Tesla in order to get closer to fulfilling its Green Future program. In 2020, Uber announced plans to accelerate the transition to electric cars, with $800 million to help its drivers go electric. Uber is committing to becoming a fully zero-emission platform by 2040, with 100% of rides taking place in zero-emission vehicles on public transport with micro-mobility. We're also setting an earlier goal to have 100% of rides take place in electric vehicles in US, Canadian, and European cities by 2030. In fact, we believe we can achieve this 2030 goal in any major city where we can work with local stakeholders to implement policies that ensure a fair transition to EVs for drivers. So, as part of that program, Tesla joined in the list of Uber. From November, Uber drivers in London gained the ability to buy or lease Tesla cars as green vehicles as part of an incentive scheme to boost electric car use. Uber announced its Clean Air Plan back in late 2018, which would tack on a 15 pence or 20 cents fare to every passenger mile driven in London. Each driver builds up their own savings pot from the fees that they can then put towards an electric vehicle. The average pot is between £3,000 and £4,000, and drivers have collectively saved £135 million or $184 million. Uber reduced the clean air fee to 3 pence per mile earlier this year in order to nudge drivers to use the pot for changing vehicles, rather than simply saving them. This fund is used to help Uber drivers get their own EV at a discounted price. So far, models such as the Nissan Leaf and Kia Niro EV have been available as part of the program, but now Tesla's EVs will be as well. Electric vehicle usage has doubled since then, and 90% of new cars joining the platform are EVs. Uber is heavily incentivizing EVs as the firm aims to only have fully electric vehicles in London by 2025. So far, around 4,000 London-based Uber drivers have made the transition to electric. Jamie Haywood, head of Uber Northern and Eastern Europe, spoke about the recent developments and Uber's hopes for a greener future. There is still a lot of work to do to drive a green recovery and clean up urban transport, but the progress we are seeing in London is significant, and, as a city, we are leading the way globally. Undoubtedly, the most popular choice for London Uber drivers seeking to drive a Tesla will be the Model 3, most likely the Standard Range Plus. Perhaps the Model Y could be an option for some too. Uber passengers are also able to request an all-electric vehicle instead of a regular ICE vehicle while in London. The Uber Green service was announced earlier this year and is available in London Zone 1, which includes Westminster and several smaller neighbourhoods. So, that's all folks. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you in another video. Ta-ra.